What's up, everybody? Keith here, Two Guys How To. June's here with me as always, and we're fixing something. We weren't going to film it, but you know what? Today we're working on a truck plow, and it's a Western with the Ultra mount. It could be the newer style, the older style, doesn't matter. It could be Fisher, it could be Myers, a little different. This is a Western, so we're going to show you how the problems that we're having, and on these particular systems, if you don't, if the grounds aren't right, the solenoids will not click. The plow will always want to go to the right. It'll never lift up. And it's just one of the things that we've noticed by working on so many of these. So we've swapped out some of the power cord, the main two, the male and female, or the positive and negative. It's not that. We've still got our actual controls coming off the truck. And if you look at it, here's your hookup to the battery, your positive and your negative. That goes to the plow from the truck side, and you've got the Western right here. So if you're looking at this point right here, the way the arrowhead is, it's pointed. The second one over from the big one, that should be your ground. If that ground is not working, the whole system will not work right. You'd have to add another ground to the plow side in order for the pump to lift and the solenoids to work. So what we're going to do, we've got a test light. June's got that hooked up to the positive side of the battery. And actually, he's going to turn the key on inside the cab. And when he turns that key on, let me see this. Okay, if he turns the key on, it's going to make that controller on the straight blade controller or whatever you got. So we got the key on, and the panel is hot now. So we're going to hit the button. It's going to make it lift. Normally that's going to click your relay outside and lift it. So that's all on. The key is on. Let's go back out here. And if we don't have ground to this plow side, or the truck side to go to the plow, we're done. So that should light up right away instantly. On this other plow truck we just worked on, that's hot with the negative all the time. So you see how he's moving those wires down there? He's pushing those wires up into this harness. And when he lets off, look what happens. The test light's out. So push up, test light's on. Without this ground or any of these wires connected, but mainly the ground, the plow won't lift. So now that we figured it out, fortunately in the garage we always got extra stuff around because we're working on everything. We've got an extra whole truck side harnessed with the 9-pin. Yours could be an 11-pin. It could have, you know, 3 of these different plugs coming out. We always run the 2-plug system. That's what we like, and that's what we're working on today. So we're actually going to just cut the one off. It's got that hard abrasive material on the outside. And I already scored it here with this razor blade. You know, once we measure it up to where we want it, the shortest possible wire would be one of these grays. That's going to be like your blinker or your turn signals, which only go to, you know, your modules in there. We bypass them. We use only the white and the black if you want headlights. That's what we run. And then we run a switch inside. So all of these are going to go back up into here, the shortest wire. We're just going to cut right underneath the shortest wire, the gray wire, and then strip it up to where we can get all of these laid back in there. And then we've got this special stuff, just like Western uses, and it's electric, made by Electroduct. It shrinks to half its nominal size. And this is a 10, so this is the dash 10. It's an HS2-BS-07. 5-10, and the 10 says it's 1 inch thick. If it was a 0.75 or something, it'll be 3/4. So we're going to go ahead and we'll put this 1 inch, slide it up over top of there. We'll cut a length out and we'll show you how. And we're going to use the heat gun that we've got right here to shrink it back down, and it'll be exactly and look exactly like Western. So let's get busy. June's going to finish cutting this up here, stripping this wires off, actually the conduit, the housing off. And then, yeah, and then we'll strip it all the way, you know, cut the wires, patch them in. And the reason why they've got them at different lengths, that way it won't be a huge bundle right there. It'll actually, you know, be 1, 2, 3, 4 the whole way up, and it'll lay a lot flatter. And that's why you do need at least a 1 inch or 1.5 inch of this Electroduct. We get it online, and it's a braided, heat shrinkable braided sleeving. And it's hard to find. I found it, and now that I know what company makes it and where to get it, that's my go-to stuff. So June's going to just splice that up with the straight blade, and just, you know, be careful. You're going to cut into the wires, but you're going to cut them off anyway. But if you can just do the housing, that's it. So he's going to score that up the side, and trim it off, and then we'll show you just putting everything back together. This new harness here comes with heat shrink. These actually shrink, and you're just going to push them in there with some dielectric grease once you splice the wires and crimp them all down. Once we get those crimped down, you know, we're going to put the heat shrink over top of everything first and leave it loose, and once we get this crimped and everything heated up, we'll slide that new sleeve of heat wrap up there, and we'll heat it with that heat gun, and we'll be done. So I'm going to let him get raw on that, and then we'll show you guys how we're going to splice everything back together so you can swap yours out and get out and make some money in that snow. Alright, so we stripped all this back. I'm trying to get the camera up close. You can see the different color wires, and all these wires match these wires here. I think we got this from R&L Supply, R&S, out of Pennsylvania, that you can go online or you can go to eBay. So let's just line these up, and we've got our crimp tool here.
Gray and the yellow. And
yeah, let's do these up. Sometimes you can just zip tie them here. That way it just stays together, which isn't a bad idea, but we don't have any out here. I do have some tape I can put on there. Hate to waste my good tape, but if we tape it, at least they'll be... yeah, let's just use a quickie piece of tape right here. This will hold these together. Alright, so yeah, we got to cut everything first pretty much. It's all color coded, so we cut the yellow, we cut the gray. Those are the shortest ones. We're going to line them up. We've got that tape down here to make sure it stays the same length the whole way. And you just got to go through and cut all of them. That way we can put our new heat shrink over top and then reconnect everything. So I want to kind of get them, you know, relatively the same length. And just one at a time, cut them to match the colors. Here's a blue, and then just go up and get rid of the blue. Oh, make sure there's no wires underneath there. We got some green to green, and we're cutting them halfway into this, you know, butt connector here. So we've got our white for the headlight, big boy there. It'll be the white and the black for that. And we got the ground with this red, black with the red stripe. Definitely want to get rid of that up here. That's your most crucial one, believe it or not, if these aren't grounded right.
That's the one we're fixing.
Yeah, that's the one that's the problem. The whole plow won't work. I'm cutting them a little bit long just so we don't have, you know, we don't have a problem with the butt connectors. Yeah, you got a black one here. Black, that's your headlights there. And we got a brown, I think that might be a marker lamp. Usually the different colored ones, we'll show you the primary ones that you need. That's your brown. So everything's cut off, and it looks like it's totally complicated, but it's really not that bad. So now you can take this tape off of here. And I'm actually just going to cut that with these gently. So that old one is just going to go right in the trash. Actually, we're going to reuse this part here. Sometimes I heat them up with the heat gun or a hair dryer, and they'll pull off.
It's cold out.
Yeah, and even when it's cold, you want to make sure this arrow here lines up. So I'm going to flip it over this way. I'll take a hair dryer, heat it up, and just pull it. June pulled some over earlier today, but some just wouldn't pull. So we're going to swap that out. Everything's back to original there. Put that thing on. Now we can get busy with this heat shrink, and it's kind of hard because you're going to need a pretty long piece. I don't know how we're going to do it unless we take the whole harness off and slide it up this way into the truck. would be better, but let's see if we can get enough down here.
You can't really do it because the T's right there.
Yeah, so let's just slide it up into that.
Might have to cut it first.
Yeah, we will. We'll cut it. I'm just going to see how far we can get up on there. Push it down here as far as we can go. That way we can, when we slide it up, we'll overlap the two sides. Yeah, we really need.
You can pull it more.
Yeah, we need more. Let's just keep feeding it down. Yeah, you want to just keep wrinkling it up. Yep. Bunch it up. The stuff is about 50 cents a foot, but you know what? It's indestructible, and you want to make sure you do have enough. And you can see this is a 10-foot roll. Pretty good.
Pretty good to me. We'll probably stretch out.
See, we got a lot more right there. You got a good 6-inch here, 8-inch here. So once we start getting some of these lesser crimps on there, we can keep pulling it down more. So I'm actually going to overcut it by about 6 to 8 inch. I hate to do it because I love this stuff, but it's just what we're going to do. So let's show them here, June. Hold this down. Here's the end of the wires. We pulled a bunch of slack up this way. Let's just go ahead and give it an extra 6 inch. We should be able to get it up on there, right, June?
Okay, we just have to cut a little more.
So now that we've got that, we can try to push as much down, but we're not going to be able to get to the dang wires.
Right there.
Yeah, the smallest wires right there. So what we can do, if that doesn't work, we can always bunch it up here, but we've got a T right there, so we can't do that. We're just going to have to keep trying to push it down and take a little bit off. This is the hardest part of the whole thing right here. So we're good, right? Okay, so you see that? You see how he made it? Kind of looks like a girl's scrunchie. All of this bunched up is extra inches of stuff. So we know we're good. This is the factory spot where they stopped it and our splice, and we know we've got about 2 feet, 2.5 feet of bunched up of that electric. What is that stuff called again? Electroduct? Yeah, electroduct. So there it is. I'll try to hold it out. Maybe you guys can see it. I get online. So all right, let's get busy and start just crimping this stuff back together.
We gotta snip all these.
Yeah, we're gonna splice the ends of those. Snip these. I got this nice wire strippers where it just strips them off perfectly every time. It's got different size wire teeth in there, so I just get to the right size tooth and then pulls it right off. Boom. Just keep going down the line. This looks like a headlight. Is that the yellow? No, yeah, that's your headlight there. Your high beam. Here's your blue. This is your up and down on the pump. This is your ground. Most crucial one is that black with the red stripe. This is your low beam on the headlight. I believe the black one. And the brown might be like a marker or a turn signal. Good. So June's just going to make sure all those are nice. None of them are overly cut. Twist them together. And we got that dielectric grease, and we're just going to put these on the tips of everything and slide them up into the butt connectors that came on that other, I think it's an R and S, something like that. I have to get online and show you guys the website. They're out of Pennsylvania, so if you go to western parts in Pennsylvania, you're gonna, lo and behold, you're gonna see them. Just put a little bit of that grease on the tips of each one. Just keep going down the list, get them all greased up. That it?
This one.
Most importantly, that ground, that black with the red stripe. That's the most important thing on these Western plows, I swear. All right, so where's our new buddy butt connector? Right here. And we've got these other crimpers that also have the wire strippers here, but it's got your pinch right here. Some of them are color coded of what size you know, butt connector you have. I just use the flat side down there. We'll show you what's up. So what do you want to start off with?
Gray.
The gray. Gray to gray. Make sure it's all the way up inside there as well. Feel like it pinched anything, or it went in good?
I don't know.
Okay. So let's just crimp that down. Got it pushed in tight?
Yep.
All right. Boom, that's done.
Nice and tight.
Let's move the camera down a little bit more for you guys to really get to see what we're doing here. And we're just going to keep going down. Color, match the colors to colors. And you want to make sure that these are, you know, kind of in line. You don't want to just start, you want to layer them, you know, layer them real nice. So what do you got? You got that to that. So he's going with the yellow with the white stripe.
Hold on, hold on. It's not in it.
Huh?
It's not in it.
Okay, there you go. Good?
Yep.
Make sure these are all laid in order here. What do you have going?
Do green.
Let me hold this out so you can see how they're going to line up. And just go with that green again and crimp it on in. June's giving a nice little tug.
Yeah, you want it to be tight.
You don't want it loose in there.
If it's not tight, just crimp, give it a little bit more crimp to it.
Yeah, see, this is the one that I'm just trying not to avoid. Where was it there? Yeah, let's just keep lining them up the way that they're going to come. So the next one will be the purple. The purple one should come up over top if we can, or around the outside. There you go. Good?
Yep.
Yeah, slowly getting it.
This one?
Yeah, if you want to run this one is, that's that ground, isn't it? Yeah, that's the most important one. Just make sure it's pushed up in there good. And you can see on these crimpers, the top part will cut things. Right under it's totally flat, and that's what I'm using, the flat. If you have a bigger one, this one will crimp as well. It just won't crimp as tight as the upper one. So I'm using the upper one because these are pretty small. So which one are you going with now? We got a black that's kind of coming out the bottom here. All the way in the bottom. So let's get that one out of the way. Went on good. You can see that blue one is a fatter wire. That's a bigger butt connector than these reds. So let's just lay this back, keep laying it out. Let's see if we can get it like that. They all look pretty flat. So we've got a brown, a blue, and a white left. And it looks like the white is on the outside, so let's go with that one, then we can layer the middle. Good?
Yep.
And what do we got now? Blue and brown. It looks like blue is all the way at the bottom, hanging out on the outside of the harness, but here it's on the top, but it shouldn't really matter too much. Let's just double check to make sure. That should be fine, right? What else do we have? The brown? And the brown is somewhat in the bottom and the middle. Where is that one on the other side? Let's just look at that one real quick. The bottom and the middle? All right, let's put that one on first. And he's just feeding that wire right up in that opposing butt connector. And you want to make sure it goes in pretty easy. Let me hold it up. Good. All right, I'm going to give it a crimp. And I'm crimping the metal part of these butt connectors. I'm not crimping the plastic. I'm crimping through the plastic, through the metal, down into the metal. So our last but not least is that big fat blue wire. And does it look like it's lining up where it's not going to interfere with anything? Yeah, pretty much. If we twist it like this, it's fine. It's up top now, so that's what we want. Put a little bit more of that grease on there. That's it. And what we're going to do before we even pull this back up to cover these and heat shrink over them, we're going to test that ground that we initially started the video off with. If you're looking at this thing, it's got the notch, the arrow here. These are your headlights, your high and your low. That's going to be your ground, that second one over. So now if we turn the key on, we've got the test light hooked up to the battery. To the hot side of the battery, test light is, and you can double check your test light if you're not sure if it's going to work. You just hit that negative, boom, it lights up. So we're connected to the positive side going to this, and boom, look at that, we're grounded. And I'm not twisting the wires, I'm not forcing it, June isn't twisting nothing, so this connections, all of these are good. If you wanted to, you could go in there and hit the controller, and it'll do your up, your up and down, your left, your right, and you can double check all of these. Or if you wanted to, you can plug this to the plow right now and then go back through and heat shrink this. We know it's going to work. We're not going to worry about it. We're just going to show you how to heat shrink it and then finish the video out. We have this fucking thing laying around. I gotta order more of them. It's like, I don't mind ordering this shit, it's just money. 50 here, 80 there, 70 there, 60 there. And then I used to get those for 38 for the whole thing. Now they're 45 for the plow side.
Like shit on that truck. I gotta order a lot of shit, but it's cheap, but
Yeah, adds up.
You gotta have money to do it.
And you could hook, or you got the bed, that tailgate or the bed have the lights in it.
Yeah.
You're good. Bring that thing down. Cut it. Quick. Some of that you see under there is that grease, probably.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. It should get into it. This might take a little more. I don't know. Can't really tell. All right, so now that that is done, that's probably the hardest part of the whole thing, making sure the connections are good, the butt connections, they're all tight. We put the dielectric grease inside there and we heated them up gently with that heat gun. So they're all sealed, weather tight. Everything looks good. The ground wire's in there good. That's your most important one. So we're good. Now that we've got our extra conduit, that braided stuff that comes in that 10-foot roll, this stuff, you can't go wrong with this. It used to be 50 cents a foot, something like that. I would definitely get it by electric duct. I wish they paid me for saying this, but man, it took me a while to find out what this stuff was called. And it really does harden up, similar to that Western, hard conduit wrap that they've got, that weather all. It's a kind of a woven fabric that just gets hot and just boom. So we're gonna slide it up over top of it. We've got our leftover conduit up here. About that much is sticking out from the grill, unless you take the whole wiring harness out, which we don't want to do. So we're going to slide it over top of that 4 to 5 inches, and when we heat it, it'll bond right over top that old Western Plow wire loom, the woven loom. All right, so we trimmed a little bit off the end here, and we've got it stretched out. You can see we left a couple wrinkles in it, but we'd rather have more than less. And we went all the way down to the end. You can go wherever you want. We're doubling up because we know it's harsh out when you're plowing the snow. So let's just gently do this. The stuff will burn. So we're gonna put it on low. It has high and low setting here. We got these at Harbor Freight years back. And let's just start at the bottom here. And let it do what it's gonna do. Right, so that took, I had to turn it up to high on the heat gun, to be honest with you. Keep it moving. I got it pretty hot to shrink this down. We shrunk it to about a 1/2 inch, but you can see the whole way up, it's overlapped. So it's good and protected. We're just gonna go ahead and zip tie these two together and feed it back down through the front there. And we're pretty much done. So that's it. This is pretty simple. We're going to put some more wire loom on these, anywhere where these battery wires rub up against the frame, and just zip tie everything and make it look nice. So we got the original control panel wiring harness for the straight blade is in here, good to go. All we did is we spent about 50 bucks on the external part. So instead of buying the whole wiring harness for $219 or crazy prices during the winter, we fixed it for about 55 bucks and a little bit of time. So we're out. I'm Keith, that's June, and we're off to fix the next thing. Get out there, plow that snow, fix it yourself, save that money, and buy more parts and fix more things. Until next time, later. What's up, Iggy? Talk to him before I shut the video down. Oh yeah. Yep. You're not a pig, you're a lawyer. He's not a pig, he's a lawyer. Peace.